Welcome back. We surround our table with reporters, not pundits, for a reason, and we close each Sunday by asking them to share a nugget or two from their notebooks, help get you out ahead of the political news just around the corner. Nia Malika Henderson.
So there were some behind-the-scenes tensions among progressives in the wake of Elizabeth Warren's attempted floor speech about Jeff Sessions, citing Coretta Scott King's words from the mid-1980s. Some people thought it focused too much on Elizabeth Warren and should have focused more on Coretta Scott King's words and Jeff Sessions' deeds. If you looked at the Congressional Black Caucus statement, for instance, it barely mentioned Elizabeth Warren at all. This, I think, really speaks to two things, one of which is Elizabeth Warren's ongoing challenges with black progressives. She's certainly the darling of white progressives, but I think she still has some work to do among black progressives. And then just the Democratic Party more generally. Is there a figure who can emerge that can really bridge that divide in the way that we saw Barack Obama do in 2008? Because remember, the Democratic Party still goes through the South African-American communities there in any kind of primary.
And a bit of turmoil in the family at the moment. Jonathan?
What could have been. So the biggest story among the confirmation hearings for President Trump's cabinet was Betsy DeVos, which was kind of a surprise, I think, for all of us. What is sort of lost to history now, but it's important to recall, is that after the protests, the phones melting down in all these senators' offices, it didn't have to happen. Michelle Rhee, the well-known, polarizing former school superintendent here in Washington, D.C., well-known education reformer nationally, I'm told was in the mix to be education secretary and actually had a conversation with senior Trump people, but that was squelched by some top Trump folks who wanted Betsy DeVos because, A, she's a well-known donor, and B, she is somebody who sort of helped buy the Trump folks' capital with the Republican establishment during that period after the election when they were offering olive branches to the establishment. And lastly, because Rhee is more of an independent player, well known in this field, an expert in this field, perhaps not as easy to sort of run that department with her there as with the boss.
Keep it close. Keep it close.
Yep.
Glenn?
Stephen Miller, this is your moment. We had two major profiles of Stephen Miller, who is the president's senior advisor and the man who got into a little bit of trouble for, shall we say, the spotty implementation of the travel ban order. This is a guy who was, just a couple of years ago on Capitol Hill, the bane of inboxes. People would set their email to spam every time he would send out one of his famous kind of flaming missives on immigration reform. But now this is the guy who really has the president's ear. And what we are hearing and reported, my colleague and I, Jennifer Steinhauer, today, is that he is now working on work visas, the work visa issue. They are not shying away necessarily from immigration reform. The Bannon cluster in the White House is moving full speed ahead, in part because they feel like they don't have a lot of time. And I think if you look at the backlash against the travel ban, they may not have that much time.
Seize the moment if you can. Jackie?
So we've been talking a lot this week about the Republican town halls where there has been some pushback, particularly on the ACA. Well, in the midst of all this, progressives are actually selling this law again. There's been a bus tour for the last 3 weeks where they've gone to 12 cities. They've held 27 rallies, really reminding people about some of the good that the Affordable Care Act has done. And yesterday, Senator Schumer and Senator Sanders called for a nationwide rallies to, again, remind progressives why this law needs to be stand up for. Those will happen on February 25th. So some might argue for the first time, Democrats are really pushing to save the Affordable Care Act.
2010, 2014, no, never mind. Better late than never. I'll close with this. As he makes the rounds in the Senate, the president's Supreme Court pick has a guide who knows the shortcuts, the back stairways, and the members on a first-name basis. That's former New Hampshire Senator Kelly Ayotte. She is Judge Neil Gorsuch's confirmation Sherpa, meaning her job is to guide the judge through the confirmation process, including the courtesy calls we've seen playing out the past couple of weeks up on Capitol Hill. It was a surprising choice. She lost her seat in November, and in that campaign had some not-so-complimentary things to say about then-candidate Donald Trump. He returned the favor with some not-so-nice words of his own. But that was then. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was among those suggesting to Team Trump that Ayotte could be helpful because she's well-liked among her colleagues. So why would she want to do it? Some people in the know say she just wants to raise her profile to help land some corporate posts. But friends in New Hampshire also see the seeds of a comeback. The other New Hampshire Senate seat, now held by Democrat Jeanne Shaheen, is up in 2020, when you might remember President Trump will be up for re-election. If Ayotte did want to run, and several friends say her early inclination is yes, making peace with the president now could help her get him on her side if there is a GOP primary. Yes, 2020, a ways down the road, but Ayotte and her allies view her new Sherpa role as a smart play.